Jesteśmy na stanowisku Morela, czyli w zasadzie jedynej firmy, która produkuje sama głośniki do samochodów.
We'll start over here. So one of the newest products that we have is the Ultimo Pro. So it's a ground up rebuild from the Ultimo Titanium. It has a very similar look to it. Most people don't notice this new, but we're using the chassis and the cone looks similar, but it's a complete new rebuild. With the new structure, the chassis was good to start off with, so we decided not to change that.
Okay.
A lot of our installers are used to the fit, feel, finish. So, but everything underneath that is completely rebuilt. So new suspension. With the 12, we went to a dual spiders network. A new motor structure, complete new Theo Smalls and everything. And then we increased the cone to actually being 200% stronger than the previous version. Previous version was like a paper cone with a carbon fiber overlay for cool looks, with some strength added capabilities, but we realized that it wasn't quite what we needed to be able to get the performance we want. So we have actually a laminated multi-layer with this that makes it so that the carbon is actually an infused part for the strength. So super lightweight, super strong, and that gets us a lot more efficiency out of the driver.
Like it's something like sandwich, yes? The carbon with the paper.
It's paper on the inside, and then it's fiberglass on the back.
Okay,
So
great.
overall, a lot more rigid, a lot more strong, which gives you a lot better accuracy, no flex in the cone. And then we increased the overall X-Max. The one complaint that a lot of customers had in the previous version is for the dollar amount and for the power handling, we weren't getting a lot of output. So we've matched that. And then on top of that, we made the woofer performance smaller boxes, because that was another complaint. It's being able to physically fit the boxes in the car.
Okay, the sizes.
We have an 8, 10, and a 12.
Okay, this is the 8
That's the 8.
and the 12.
12.
Okay. And the power handling?
800 and 1,000 RMS.
1,000 for the 10 and 1,000 for the 12, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, it looks impressive.
Very
The
good.
gear also.
Yes, the grills come with all the new drivers. So the Lotus the Octopus has been long lived. So we needed an upgrade primarily because with the Octopus, like, things could get in on the side.
Okay.
So now we have a new grill. This will be shipping with all the new drivers.
Included or the separate?
Included with the Ultimo Pro, the SCX, and you can buy it for the Kinetic. And then eventually in the second generation run of the Power Slam will be included as well.
Great.
Cool.
This is quite some about the Lotus style, yeah?
Very much Lotus. Yeah, we're pulling the Lotus design from all the rest of the product lines that we have, but it's kind of our signature. But it also has a good usage behind it. With the varying sized holes in the pattern that we use, it actually makes it so it's the most transparent grill that's available on the market.
Okay, great. Maybe move on.
Yeah. So updates for our speaker line is we have the update to the Virtus. Previously, the cone of the speaker is for the most part the same. Did a couple of internal component upgrades to bring it up to today's standards. We changed up the tweeter to match with the MC120N. With the Virtus Nano, it has a lot better signature and characteristics. Same tweeter.
Okay.
A lot better signature, characteristics, a little bit better detail, a little bit better efficiency.
Okay.
The biggest improvement is on the three-way. We went to the new VWB 254, which is a metal dome mid-range. It's actually a widebander, so you can use it as a separate device for replacing the three-way and make it just a two-way. But this is a lot more efficient, a lot better overall sound quality, but it can drop down to 300 hertz in the frequency response. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in crossovers if you run them active. This is the driver itself. We also offer it as separate, and then we have a mounting plate. This fits a lot of the American-made vehicles and Japanese, so Lexus, Toyota, and then we have Toyota, Chrysler, Subaru. For this one, this is Ford 80 millimeter and GM.
And can you use without the tweeter?
You can take it off if you want to take it off. Yeah.
Okay. And,
So-
and the mean is
It's the Virtus Nano, or the Virtus, which is, we've had this in the line for a while. It's just been updated to make sure that we stay relevant with the product, and it's up to the most current technology. So
okay, it says neodymium.
no, it's ferrite.
Oh, okay.
So it's a double stack ferrite in here. We use the EVC technology, which is an external voice coil, which means we can compact the motor structure a lot smaller. So we can keep that motor force that we expect from a big ferrite magnet, but we don't have to have the size required. So our efficiency is gained by the way that our motor structure is designed. Make sure that we can fit them pretty much anywhere.
The sensors we just received in our workshop.
Yes.
It's impressive.
The Sensus it definitely looks way above its price point. But we needed something to kind of fit underneath Virtus to kind of bridge the gap between Tempo and Virtus. So we came out with the Sensus. The other thing is like with the Elate drivers, we designed those to be standalone systems. So if you give it enough power and use like the 9-inch three-way set, if you have a convertible that doesn't have a space for a sub, that 9 can play low enough to give you bass response. We did that also with tempo, and it gives you good bass response, but we didn't have a three-way. So the problem comes down to is now you're asking a lot of that 6.5-inch driver, that 6x9 driver. So we needed something to kind of bridge that gap. So we took the MM3 chassis from the Elate drivers and came out with a full-size 3.5, which gives you a wide flexibility with your frequency response. So now you can band pass this, push the crossover lower on this to focus more energy out of the woofer. And now we use the hybrid / Elate 6-inch driver chassis for this with the DPC cone, this high efficiency. It also damps well, so you can play it extremely low. Has a 1.3-inch voice coil, so you get that low end extension, good power handling. But now this can be dedicated as more of a woofer. So if you can't put a subwoofer in the car, or you take subwoofers out, you still have good bass presentation in the car.
Perfect. Because the lineup is a lineup. The chassis is the same as Elate.
Elate, yeah, Elate and hybrid.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the MM3, same with the Elate MM3 drivers.
Okay, and this is nano carbon.
Versus nanocarbon, it's probably the most signature or most easily understood visually what we do, but it definitely does give you a cue of what we do that's differently since we build. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. A lot of people don't quite understand how it works. They feel like you have to lose performance because of the size, and what it really is that if you look at it in a different format, since we use EVC technology, our voice coil's on the outside, so the motor structure can be smaller. And then likewise, if you use a strong cone, and since we control our building facilities, we can have a lot tighter tolerances, and we can push the boundaries a little bit more, use bigger voice coils, which means we have better control of the cone. And then when we have high quality cones, we can reinforce them so they don't flex. All we do is basically, as opposed to having a deep V cone, we convex it out. And then now we can move the motor structure up on the inside. So your performance that you normally get out of most of our drivers, you actually get out of this. Slightly less X-Max, but overall still 100 watts power handling for only requiring about 19 millimeters of mounting depth. I mean, it's the best performing speaker on the market.
It looks crazy.
It's crazy. It doesn't need hardly any airspace, gives you great bass response, gives incredible power handling, but it doesn't require any fitment to be able to put in any car.
Just flat.
Just throw it wherever you can.
And this Mitch?
This is the MM2, so this matches in it. It's a 2-inch driver. It's aluminum domed, but it only requires about 9 millimeters of mounting depth. So it's absolutely small. You can put this pretty much in any of the locations in a center channel, or if you have any effect speakers in the overhead, you could use one of these. They work really, really well. They play, up between about 600 to about 6K.
And can you use it without the box?
Yeah, no box required. When we use so on the back of most of our drivers, we have the car filter on most of our woofers, but all of these are designed for infinite baffle setups to maximize performance.
Too easy install.
Yes. Yeah.
Move on. These amps.
Amplifiers. We're not an amplifier company. We never pretended to be, but oftentimes with a lot of the trends that are going on in the industry, small class D amplifiers are where everybody wants to go. Fine. So a lot of customers will invest good money in the speakers, but then they cheapen out on the amplifier. So the problem comes down to is the customer never blames the amplifier, because the amplifier is usually a very simplistic device. So they blame the speaker. And we saw that was kind of the trend. So we wanted to make sure that we had product that matched the quality of our speakers. We wanted to make sure that the Morel signature sound carries through the entire product line, through the entire signal path that we possibly can get. So with all of our amplifiers, if they're multi-channel, they are Class AB to get the best quality performance that we can get out of the system. And then for the subwoofers, they're all monoblocks. But all the power supplies are over-engineered, overbuilt. We give you some of the highest grade components inside to match the quality of our speakers as well. I just want to make sure that we give all of that performance we can to the customer and to the dealer.
Okay, in the lineup, is it what channel? What is
So the MPS line is we have a 4-channel, a 5-channel, and a monoblock. So the 4-channel is 70x4, and then the monoblock is 550 by 1, and then the 5-channel is just those two added together. One of the things that we did differently with our 5-channel is it actually has separate power supplies. So the good news about that is if you use the 5-channel, it doesn't siphon power from one to the other. So when you have a big bass note, it doesn't pull from the 4-channel. And then for the MPS Limited, this is a no holds barred audiophile amplifier. It's very unassuming in the way that it looks and everything, but we went to the next level to make sure that all the quality components are done in there. In the 2-channel, we actually have the trace path from the input to the output is equal in distance to make sure that there's no phase misalignment, there's no timing differential, there's no anything. There's no crossovers on the multi-channel to make sure that that's not inducing any noise or any decay in the response. We also have the ability to change the fuses out on the back to select the rail to maximize the performance based off the impedance of the speaker. So if it's a 4-ohm speaker, it uses one rail. If it's a 2-ohm speaker, it uses a different rail. And oftentimes, if the amplifiers have an auto switching capability, if the speaker gets a little out of control, it will switch to the 2-ohm rail, and it may never go back, which now divides your power, and it can also increase distortion or saturation in the playback. We don't want that. When you go to do the install, you know what the impedance of your speaker is going to be. We want to make sure that the amplifier does what it's supposed to do, regardless of what you're doing to the speaker or how the speaker is reacting in the environment. So basically, we've rebuilt the entire subwoofer product line because it's been a long time since we've had any updates or any revisions. So we decided to start over from scratch, build it all up from the beginning. So the Power Slim, which we'll talk about in just a second, was kind of a reemergence into our subwoofer category. So we took all of the engineering and everything that we've taken from our constructive criticism from our dealers and put it all into the new category of products. So starting off with the Kinetic. This is our entry-level product. It's a price-friendly, good output performing driver. We target to make sure that we give you the best frequency response we possibly can, best accuracy, best detail for the money. So this uses a oversized 2-inch voice coil, high-grade ferrite magnets, has a DPC cone for good efficiency. But this entire driver is designed to be able to give you great output, great accuracy at a very reasonable price. On top of that, we've been, in the past, some of our enclosures are a little bigger, maybe a little bit more complicated to put inside of a car. So we really focused on making sure that the drivers matched the capabilities of the installers to put them in the car. So the Kinetic now matches prefab enclosure designs. So they optimized in like a 0.75 to 0.85 cubic foot for the 10 sealed enclosure. Very good for a prefab enclosure. If you build it custom, by all means, go at it. The 12 is like a 1.2 or about a 1 cubic foot sealed enclosure. The design concept for us is we want to make sure that we get the most performance in the frequency response. So we have a lot of emphasis on making sure we extend down to 20 hertz, regardless what box it's in, any of the environments. We want to give you good output, good power handling, and good accuracy and detail.
Okay, and this flat one?
So this is a sneak peek. You guys are one of the few that actually are going to be able to show this. This is one of our prototypes. This is the Primo SL. So this will be coming out in the near future, but it's our new entry-level shallow mount subwoofer. So 350 watts of power handling. It has a very shallow mounting depth of, US, but 3.1 inches roughly of mounting depth. But it takes a 0.5 cubic foot sealed box for the 10, 0.5, and then 0.8 cubic foot for the 12. The idea behind this is when we came out with the Power Slim, we wanted to make sure that fitment, bolt pattern, box requirements for both sealed and ported are even. So if you guys get used to building enclosures, or if you have a design that you really like, you can switch between the two and you can change out the amplifiers to meet budget better.
And the Simply Wars would be cheaper version now to Power Slim.
Yes.
Okay.
So step down.
Step down.
Still good accuracy, still good detail. It's just less power handling, better, more budget friendly.
Yeah. I stay with the big call or the.
It's I think it's a 2-inch voice coil. I don't remember where we landed at, but it's significant. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move to the.
So moving on. Stepping up. This is the Power Slim. We introduced
Our most lover side.
This is the most sought after sub that's on the market. So this is the Power Slim. Yeah. This is the Power Slim. It's a 10 and a 12. They handle 600 and 700 watts RMS, so substantial heavy duty woofer. We have a 5-inch voice coil on the driver, high grade ferrite magnets, but it's only 3.1 inches of mounting depth for the 10 and 3.4 for the 12. It takes 0.5 cubic foot sealed box for the 10 and 0.8 for the 12.
And this
It's also an award-winning sub, as you can see. Nonetheless, we're moving on. This is our Ultimo SCX. So this is a ground-up rebuild from the Titanium SC. Same cone as you saw on the Ultimo Pro. So improved X-Max, new suspension, new motor, everything along those lines. It basically took all the hits of what we did with the SC and just improved upon them. Also, better efficiency, more X-Max, more power handling, or about the same power handling, and then same good box enclosure designs and everything like that. Chassis looks the same. It kind of sort of looks the same, but it's an all new ground up rebuild.
What is a step down from the Ultimo Pro?
Yes, yeah. So this is 600 watts for the 10, 700 watts for the 12. And then likewise with the Ultimo Pro, it's a dual 4-ohm voice coil. This is a single 2-ohm voice coil.
Okay. So maybe move on to more interesting things. Supremo.
The next one is Mr. IT. Ja, describe.
We want to do something. Maybe we start with the Supremo.
Yeah, that's fine. So this is the Supremo's special edition. The Supremo, when it came out, it's a little bit long. It was a little bit long in the tooth. We needed an update. We've been working on it for a while. When the Supremo first launched, the majority of cars that were out here were all 2-way, so 6.5 with the tweeter. Obviously, new cars are now needing 3-ways. So we've been working on this, trying to make sure that when we release it, it's the right product, not just our product. So all the things that we learned from Supremo, we've built on top of it, improved, and done a substantial amount of work on this. So all new cone design, all new motor structures, everything's underhung voice coils to make sure that you get the maximum performance out of it. With an underhung voice coil, that means that the voice coil never leaves the magnetic gap, so you get maximum control over that cone. With the 6.5 and the 3, we both have a 3-inch voice coil in there, so you have a really wide grasp.
Can you unscrew the drivers?
Yeah. Really wide grasp, which means that we got a lot of control over that cone, makes it so it's very linear. And then on top of that, with underhung voice coils, the number one problem is that because you don't have a big area for that voice coil is heat dissipation. So power handling usually is restricted on underhung voice coils. With our 3-inch voice coils, we're able to dissipate a lot of that heat so we can drive them really well. With 120 watts of power handling, you can do a very, very accurate, very detailed, and very powerful set of speakers.
Switch to the mid-range.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on top of that, with all of these drivers, we use anti-standing wave technology, which means that basically anywhere that any air flows over the chassis, we have deburred and rounded over to make sure that there's no turbulence buildup on any of the products or any of the areas, and any waves that come off the back of the cone are either absorbed or deflected to make sure that it doesn't have any destruction or reflection on the backside of the cone.
The quality of them is crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. So obviously the design of the speakers is to match the performance and complement each other. These are all hand matched and value graded between all the drivers to make sure that from left to right everything's equal and good.
And the tweeter?
And then the tweeter. Tweeter is a whole nother thing. The tweeter is a 20 millimeter soft dome. We use that
like auto or something.
So the flange that you see here is based off of the same that you would have with the old Piccolo and the Alto.
Okay.
But the entire design behind it is completely brand new. So we have all new chassis on the back end. This is a tuned chamber to make sure that we have maximized the performance of the tweeter, but it also has the anti-standing wave technology inside of here with acoustic absorbing material inside to make sure that no energy coming off the backside of the cone is reflected and hits the tweeter movement and causes destruction or any distortion, breakup, or anything along those lines.
Okay.
On top of that, since it's 28 millimeter, we have a especially geometrically even design all the way across. So it's designed specifically to maximize performance on off axis. Between up to like 30 degrees off axis, you have a flat response from its crossover point all the way to the top head.
Okay. And it would be a version with the 9 inches woofer?
We are working on a 9-inch version, yes. I have no ETA on that right now, but yes, we are working on a 9.
We have a lot of the client with the Porsche, you know?
Yes.
And the Porsche client needs a premium speaker.
Yes. So yes, we are working on the 9-inch version. It will be coming out in the near future, but basically the tweeter in the mid will be the exact same. We're just including the 9.
Right.
It'll be exciting.
And this new one, the DSP amps.
These are brand new. These are DSP amplifiers. These are actually got hand delivered to the show. So these are integration design amplifiers. So a lot of the products that we're introducing into the product line are to make it so that you can do installations a lot easier. Finding installers is a lot harder nowadays. A lot of people want to do DIY installs. So in order to do the most efficient install, we want to make sure that you guys are catered to, and you have all the fitment, rings, adapters, everything to make it so our speakers fit into the car easily. So it's piggyback on top of that. We also need amplifiers to match the performance characteristics of our speakers with the install. So these are designed to match most of the new vehicles that are coming out. So they handle 16 volts of input voltage on the high level in. It handles 8 channels in, and on the last 2 channels, it'll do up to 30 volts. So you have most of any of your bigger audio systems, Harman Kardon, B&O, any of those will be covered with this system. Each one of our DSP amplifiers has 8 channels of input, and then has staggered. 2 of them have staggered power, 1 of them has just normal power. But we all offer a discrete out, so you can do you can do system expansion, or you can run a sub with DSP control off of it. So we have a 6 channel that's 80 by 2 and 4 by 160. We have a 10 channel or an 8 channel that is 4 by 80 and 4 by 160. And then we have a 4 channel that is 4 by 80.
And this is not.
And then the little one, yeah, this one kind of is on its own. This is a micro amplifier. So the design behind this is a customer that may not have a huge budget, a very minimal budget, wants to keep the factory speakers or anything along those lines. This is a 25 by 4, all channels loaded, Class AV amplifier to be able to piggyback off of the OEM speakers, but be able to give you an ability to DSP enhance the sound inside the car. It can also stream Bluetooth straight to it. And then it gives you 2 discrete outs to be able to do either system expansion or like a subwoofer.
And this is 4 or 6 channels?
This 4.
4 channels, okay.
But with this, you don't have to require any additional power. With these amplifiers, you need 8 gauge, 4 gauge install. This one you can use basically, well, if the power handling capability is right with that unit, or maybe a auxiliary source power, a cigarette lighter or something like that in the car. All it requires is about 15 amps of current at most.
Okay, move on.
So
This is kind of specific speakers.
car specific speakers. This is our integration line continuing down. Most of the products nowadays, especially with some of the more difficult vehicles, is trying to fit one of those speakers inside of a car. You have to build rings. You have to modify things. Customers don't want that. So with some of the vehicles that we're trying to tackle, we're trying to make solutions that just drop right in. We started off with BMW a couple of years ago. We got a lot of fanfare from it. A lot of people really liked it. So we offer a die-cast ring inside the kit that the speaker can be swapped out of. We have 3 rings in each box. Basically makes it so that it's a plug-and-play solution. So if you're releasing the vehicle, plan on selling it down the road, you can pull the OEM gear out, put our stuff in, not modify the vehicle at all. And then when you go to sell it or return it, you can actually put the OEM back and no one will know the wiser. We offer 2 levels of speakers. We use the IR and the IP. IP is basically a factory replacement or maybe a low power option, so like 75 watts or under. And then IR is the premium, right? So it's based off of a hybrid line, so it's the maximum performance for the same simple install with no modifications required. We also have the underseat subwoofer, which is the IP BMW SUB 82. So this drops straight in the factory location, but gives you an incredible amount more performance. So we use a neodymium front-mounted motor structure, so better cooling, better capability handling. We can handle up to 200 watts RMS, and it's designed to fit and optimize for those small enclosures under the BMW seats. It does look very similar to some of the other products that are out there, including the factory speaker, and that's because these plugs right here are proprietary. So we have to buy a certain amount of product from the build house, but everything else, as you can see on the back, is 100% engineered and built by us. So
We use this speaker a lot and still love it.
yes, it's a fantastic speaker.
This reference line is for us the best speaker for the BMW and the Mercedes.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. If you want,
It just works.
it just works. Yes. So that's the whole design concept is like we want to make sure that it just works for you guys so that you can focus on everything else that you need to get done for the day. On what we took from this and what we learned from this, we added into Mercedes. And unfortunately, the subwoofer for the Mercedes is stuck in customs, so it's not here right now. But we have an in-wall subwoofer solution for the new Mercedes.
No,
But we have drop-in solutions as well.
different pieces.
Yes. So we have a current version that's out in the market right now that you offer 2 different SKUs and it fits to your vehicle. The new version will be like these, where it's a raw driver, and then the plates will be in the box, so you can reduce your SKU count, but it still hit the same vehicles. And then,
But the driver itself would be the same.
yes, sub is the same.
Okay.
So it just makes it so that
Right.
you fit the plates to the car.
Okay.
And then on top of that, in our dual kits, we offer the Y splitter. So if the vehicle comes with a single sub, you can now add two to the same channel. And then we also have a pigtail to add aftermarket power if you
Okay.
want to.
What will be launch of this product?
Was that?
What will be launch? Or when will be launched?
I'm hoping in the next couple of months, but I have no idea at this point. I know we're ready. I just don't know where we're at in actual full fulfillment of the production. So,
Okay.
right? Okay. So next is, so this is a target of very entry level products. So in some countries and some vehicles that you have throughout countries, you get the absolute base model audio system in the car. Very, very poor OEM speakers, usually coax or sometimes components. So we target the vehicles of Suzuki, Hyundai, Kia, and Toyota, and we've just basically made drop-ins. The idea behind this is they're extremely efficient. So they're 92 dB efficient. So the capability is it's like a system builder or an improvement over the factory. You can use the factory radio, you can do an aftermarket radio, you can do aftermarket amplification. But with 92 dB efficiency, you can use whatever huge power range of inputs, and you just keep excelling as you add more power. So very, very efficient, very lightweight. They use high grade baskets to be able to mount into the vehicle. So all of the fitment comes just with all of our direct fit products. They have all the connectors either built in or in the boxes. So you don't have to modify anything. It's taking the concept of what we learned from BMW and adding it to more vehicles, more capability. But you don't have to modify anything. You can go back to factory if you ever need to in the end. These are all drop-in, ready to go. So with the Hyundai Kia, we have a 6.5 component, 6.5 coax. Then we have a 5 1/4 coax. With the Suzuki, we have a 6.5 component and a 6.5 coax. The one we don't have is here to show is the Toyota, which is a 6.5 component. In the future, we do have also some options that are almost done in production right now, which includes the Uni 82 8-inch driver. So any of the vehicles that have a 6x9 in the doors, something like that, Lexus and things like that, we will have adapters made out of diecast that use an 8-inch driver as opposed to a 6x9. 6x9s aren't the best design speakers in the world. So we went to an 8, much more predictable, a lot better bass response, better overall tonality. But we added it in. Those are 92 dB efficient as well. So it's a system builder. And then we pair it with the VWB little widebander. And with the factory plates to be able to fit in the Toyotas and such and GM. And then we have a version for Ford as well. And we'll be expanding on that line even more in the future too.
Okay. Maybe for the end, something, few words about the car.
A few words. I mean, it'll pretty much make you speechless if you listen to it. So this is we're trying to
Maybe you knew the Diago.
Oh yeah. So
Would be easy to explain.
So this is the system design in the car. So this is a Nissan GTR. This is a very good client of ours. He's absolutely amazing. Mark's been great. It's built by PS Sound, and they did an incredible job. But the system layout is basically all of our MPS limited amplifiers. So 2 channels are driving all of the Supremo speakers. And then we're using the MPS Limited 1000s to drive the PowerSum 10 that's in the footwell, and then the Ultimo Pro in the back. The limiteds are bridged for the 6.5, and then we also have an MPS 400 hidden away underneath the install. It's not actually shown, but it drives our Carbon Nano Integras for the rear shelf, and then also there's some front fill in the front doors, and it adds a little bit of an effect to widen the stage and gives a little bit more fill to make it. It's actually a very impressive overall presentation. So all of this is built in, ready to go for this system, but it gives you incredible amount of power, incredible amount of dynamics. It really gets really, really loud, but it's very even as it goes through the volume and everything like that. But it's super accurate, super amazing. A lot of bass. It's fun.
We need to hear it.
Yeah, definitely need to jump in there and hear it.
Okay.
But definitely take a look. In the trunk, it's the full build out, but Peter from PS sounded absolutely amazing.
And this is all 2 channels.
2 channels of monoblock. So 2 channel monoblock. two-channel multiplying. One of the cool things about our amplifiers is, as you can see on the MPS models specifically, we have these little tags right here with the Allens. You can take these off, and we actually have plates so you can stack them together. But it also gives you a lot of flexibility to be able to do some cool installs with racking and stuff.
It was very impressive.
It's very impressive.
Okay, sorry. Thank you very much for